Hello, class. This recording is a recording of my expectations for Chapter 8 scenario. You will be designing a UDL lesson plan for a student named Liam. So we click right here, and there's lots of links here to help you complete this lesson plan. So I'll go through them with you. So here's really the two main things you need to really utilize as you are creating this lesson plan. So here's a UEN lesson plan that describes the standard and the goals of the lesson, what needs to be accomplished by the end of the lesson. So we'll look at this, and then you need to transfer this lesson, which is not UDL, into a lesson plan that is UDL. So I'll pull that up for you. So here is the UEN lesson plan, and you will design this for Liam and his class. I'll really be grading you though on the UDL components and principles and strategies that you list to address Liam's needs, but also you need to make sure that you're keeping the class in mind as well. So here's the standard, the time frame, um, some ideas on materials, and I suggest using more materials to make your lesson UDL. And here is a basic lesson. So we're going to take a basic lesson and transfer it to a UDL lesson using the ICAP lesson plan format that we use here at SUU. And so here it is, and you can click download. Okay, and there you go. So you can just start typing in what you need to type in. So what I'm going to attach is a model. I realize that if this is the first time you've ever completed an ICAP lesson plan, that might feel overwhelming. So this is the model I'm going to be posting for you. And this one's designed for Liam. Just make sure you don't copy everything here. I want to make sure you come up with your own strategies, your own UDL principle ideas, and things like that. So yes, I do have a model, and you know where to find the lesson plan. You know which lesson you're going to be using as the standard and goals that should be in the ICAP lesson. So now let's go to the scenario. And I'm not going to read this right now. You'll need to read this, and I bolded the characteristics of Liam that you need to address when you're writing this lesson plan on atoms and molecules. So it's a science lesson designed for a sixth grade student, 11-year-old student. So here's the characteristics that I will be looking for that your delivery of instruction addressed through the UDL principles, a UDL approach in mind. And here's a reminder of the principles, and it's right here. We've got engagement, representation, and action and expression. And here is a great way to access each principle as you are creating your lesson plan. So here are the principles. Here's the guidelines and checkpoints. So principle, guideline, checkpoint. And then we'll go back to the ICAP lesson plan, and you'll need to come up with, in the lesson plan, you'll need to come up with a principle that'll help Liam, a guideline that'll help Liam, and a checkpoint that'll help Liam. And you'll need to do that for the beginning, middle, and end of the lesson. Okay? And yes, you do need to fill in the contextual factors, and you can copy the core that I've from the model lesson and come up with some essential questions and materials you'll need. And materials really should reflect the resources you will be utilizing as you are designing a UDL lesson. For example, in the lesson plan I'm showing as a model, they're using a video to help deliver instruction. And here is a copy of that video. It's just a YouTube video right here, atoms and molecules. And it's a 6-minute video that introduces and defines what an atom and a molecule is. So that would be a material. And obviously, if you utilize this video, you would need to have a projector or a laptop or iPads or things like that. So have fun with this. Design a lesson that addresses this standard using the ICAP lesson plan format. And I will be grading you more on this section, the UDL section, these columns. Yes, it's important to talk about assessments and rationale for what you're using, and it's important to describe the action steps, what you're going to do. But I'm really going to be grading you on this section in here. How are you making sure your lesson will help Liam overcome any barriers that he may have? And while you're helping Liam, a lot of the ideas that you use also need to address the class as well. And I always say this, what works for one can work for all. So when you're focusing on engagement and having options and choice and incorporating collaboration activities, that'll obviously help more the students than Liam. But I've also listed some class barriers, so to kind of help you see that as you're designing these lesson plans for one student, we need to make sure we consider all students and choose principles and guidelines and checkpoints that'll help one and help them all as much as possible. All right, I went through that pretty quickly. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me go back to the module. Make sure you see that I have included some other resources, some detailed UDL strategies. Here's some more ideas that you can utilize as you're coming up with ideas. This is just a resource for you. This is pretty endless. It addresses all content areas and possible challenges and barriers. So that's a resource. I want to make sure you know that I have added more links in the module to help you. So think of this week as an application week. We've already learned about UDL, and now we're just putting it all together with, taking a standard, taking the contextual factors of your classroom and of individual students like Liam, and designing a lesson plan that meets the needs of all of your learners. All right, let me know if you have any questions.